Hey guys, welcome to another episode. I hope you are all having fabulous weeks. It has been so hot where I live, and the fact that my hair is so damn long right now is just making it worse. Long hair problems. Anyways, today I'm going to get into the very sensitive topic of binge eating. I talk a lot about mental health on my platform and my Instagram, and this topic came up a few times for a video request, and since I am doing flexible dieting and I do preach a lot about, you know, health and relationships with food, I feel like this video needs to be made. So if you haven't experienced binge eating, you don't have that experience with an eating disorder, or you just don't know what it is, basically it's when you go and eat a lot of food in a short period of time to kind of make yourself feel better, or you go and find food as the answer and not the cause. If you have something going on in your life, like you're upset or you're anxious or you're depressed, you go to food as that kind of comfort and as the fix. So, binge eating, how to prevent it and how to cope with it, really. The first thing I would suggest when you feel yourself wanting to binge is to literally pause, ask yourself, what is causing this? Am I having anxiety? Am I having depression right now? Am I upset about something? Did something stress me out? Ask yourself if you are actually physically hungry. Because if you're physically hungry, then that's a sign that your body's like, okay, go eat. So you would have a well-balanced meal. So you have to kind of have a check-in with yourself and ask yourself, like, am I okay right now? Am I, like, do I want to eat because I have anxiety and because I don't want to focus on what's bothering me and I just would rather have food as this distraction? Or is this a literal, like, legit hunger pain and I need to go eat something now? I feel like one way to prevent binge eating would be to actually take care of yourself physically. So make sure you're getting enough sleep, make sure you're getting enough water, go to the gym, exercise, because if you are taking care of your health and you're like taking ownership of your health, the probability of you feeling like you want to go stuff yourself full of food is going to be lower than it would be if you are treating your body like trash, feeling like trash. Yesterday I got like, I got like 2 hours of sleep and I was just feeling like hell all day, and I felt myself be like, God, I want to eat everything right now because I felt so crappy. So basically when you feel good, like when you physically feel good, the probability of you going to do something detrimental to your body and detrimental to your health is going to be much, much lower. Basically, don't put yourself into that position of physical discomfort so that you feel you need to have comfort from food. If you feel like a binge is about to happen, I want you to pause, take a minute, and ask yourself, how am I gonna feel after this? Am I gonna feel better? Or am I gonna feel worse? Am I gonna feel shameful? Am I gonna feel guilty? Because half the time after a binge, you're like, oh my God, what did I just do? Binge eating can make you feel terrible about yourself. Like you kind of become numb when it's happening and you kind of lose that sense of being able to stop yourself. It can be very frightening and it can actually make the problem worse. So part of taking care of yourself also relates to eating enough during the day. If you are not eating enough during the day and you find you're constantly hungry or you're in this state of like starvation, the probability of you going to want to eat all this food at one time is probably going to be higher because you are depleted and your body is like, hey man, give me some food. Eating proper meals throughout the day and like taking care of your body so that your body feels good is definitely going to help with the whole binge behavior. So if you are restricted or if you are like hungry all the time or starving yourself, you're basically in a more prime position to have a binge than someone who is filling themselves full of different nutrients, is full, is satisfied, and is feeling good. This next point I'm going to make goes out to people who want to compete, people who want to diet or to get in shape. If you have a bad relationship with food already, putting yourself in a deficit and putting yourself in a state of restriction is it's not a good idea. It's not the best idea. My best advice for that would be to work on your relationship with food. Understand that there is no bad food. Understand that food is just food. Like, food's a tool. And once you start putting these labels on food and you say like, oh, pizza is bad for you, it automatically is like your food of choice if you were to go have a cheat meal. So my coach doesn't like using the term cheat meal because then it applies that you are cheating on your diet or you're cheating yourself. Instead, she uses the term free meal, or she considers it a break from dieting, which I personally appreciate so much, because if I say I'm gonna go have a cheat meal and I have pizza, it automatically triggers in my brain like, oh, pizza's bad for me, I shouldn't be having pizza, this is a cheat meal, and I'm gonna feel guilty after. And that is how to create a negative relationship with food. So what my coach did with me a few times was she texted me, and she knew I was struggling, and like I was texting her, I was having a very hard time mentally with anxiety and depression, and she actually said to me, Tessa, I know you're on prep, but this weekend, take a break. Take a break from dieting, put the scale away, stop measuring food, eat until you're full, don't allow yourself to binge, just have a break from dieting. So I did that, and it was like a mental reset for me. I was able to enjoy the food that I normally don't eat, and it was in a positive way, and it wasn't overdone. It was just very, very positive. So that's what I mean by taking a break from dieting or taking a free meal. You are not cheating. You are not having this like bad food. And free meals are very, very important. So if you are dieting, obviously you're in a state of restriction. I mean, even flexible dieting, I am restricted because I'm dieting. So even just having a free meal and being able to enjoy food without having to track the numbers, without having to track the scale, it helps me so much kind of just let go of that mental stigma of, oh no, burgers are bad, pizza's bad. It's like, the food is not bad. Food is to be enjoyed. Food is awesome. When you have this negative emotion towards food, it becomes like the enemy, and it's not the enemy. So what happens if you do have a binge? Well, I want you to understand, if you have a binge, that does not make you a failure. It means you're a human, and it means you made a mistake, but it also means that you are going to learn from it. If you make yourself feel even worse for having a binge, that's just going to create this cycle. So you feel guilty, and then you feel horrible about yourself, and you're just creating like more action in your brain, and then you're going to want to binge again to numb those feelings. So instead of dwelling on it, please just be able to accept what happened and learn from it and say, okay, this is how I felt, this is how I feel now, this is what triggered it, and I'm going to work my best next time to try and stop myself, to check in with myself, to ask myself what is causing this. The worst thing you can do when you have a binge is punish yourself. If you have a binge, you don't need to kill yourself with cardio to try and make up for it, or you don't need to starve yourself the next day to punish yourself for having a binge the previous night, because that is just creating more of that negative behavior. That's saying that like, oh, if I make a mistake, I need to punish myself, which is not true at all. If you make a mistake, that means you're human, and that means that you can learn from it. So basically, those are just a few tips and processes you can do with yourself if you feel a binge about to happen. I really think it's important that we all pay attention to mental health, and like whether that be depression or anxiety, eating disorders, like anything, there's this huge conversation that's going around on all social media, and I think it's very important that we try our best to join the conversation and speak up about mental health, because a lot of people kind of shy away from it, and it's something that can't be ignored anymore, especially in the time that we live in. Like mental health is more prominent than ever, and it's like so important. So This is me saying it is okay to speak up and you are safe. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative and helpful, and let me know if you have any suggestions for videos you want me to do, and I will see you guys next Wednesday. I've been doing videos every single Wednesday, so I'm gonna say like new video every Wednesday. So I will see you guys next Wednesday, and I hope you have a amazing rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video.